Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy G Maniac back again with a video. And guys, really sorry about the that I haven't posted in over a month. Quite frankly, I was willing to post. I had a big vlog that I filmed and everything, but the people that helped me film it, the videos that I needed to get like to finish the vlog and all that, they took so long to send it to me, and I just lost track of time. And then when I was finished posting, I didn't really do anything new that could have been interesting. So I took off for like a while just to like get new ideas, get fresh start and all that. And my classes have started again, so it is difficult for me to get new content and trying to film and stuff. Even though I've got so many classes and I try to do as much as I can, but I will try this time to do even better for you guys, because you guys are all my G's, my maniacs, you know. But yeah, let's get this video started. Okay guys, this video is going to be a slightly different one than what I usually do. As you can see in the title below, it is a ghost kind of video, like a ghost story or something. And yeah, how it's going to be is that I'm going to talk about my first my ghost encounters I've ever encountered. Okay, to be honest, I don't really believe in ghosts, but I have experienced things which just don't seem normal to me. But even when as a child, I had weird experiences that people told me about the stories, and it actually caught my attention. I thought this would be interesting, and once I tell my stories, I hope you guys can like open up and then tell your stories, and then just leave your comments below or in Twitter and tell me about your experiences with ghosts or demons, or if you believe it or whatever. Yes, I don't believe in demons. I'm not a Satanist. I know some people think I'm a Satanist, but I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. Cool. Yeah, sure. As you guys also can see, I shaved. Sorry about that. Just a quick announcement. I shaved. Also, skirt. Anyways, getting off topic. Anyways guys, yeah, so let's get started with my first ever ghost story. Okay guys, my first ghost story, it was pretty interesting. My first ghost experience when I was younger, I used to live with this old daycare mom of mine. She's still like involved in our lives, my and my sister's lives. But she said long ago when I was very young, I used to like play by myself. I had a very broad imagination. Like I was intrigued. I made imaginary friends. I did weird things that not always all children would do, but I was happy. They said I was a very happy child. But anyways, and then one day she said I started running around the hall of her house and just playing with like I was playing with a friend or something. And she said what made it really strange is I was running and I would talk to someone, but when she came to, she wouldn't see anyone. All my friends that were there back then, they weren't there. Like they wouldn't talk to me, but they were more like playing on the PlayStation or watching TV or doing things like that, playing with toys. I played around using my imagination, stuff like that. And she said, and then after a week of doing the same thing over and over, she stopped and asked me one day, who am I talking to? And I told her I'm talking to him. And then she asked who. She said the little boy, he's standing right there. Yes, I know this is already starting to sound really creepy and all that, but she said what made her feel really unsettling is that I was looking directly at him, like in a doorway and all that. And she said, but what made her confused is there was no history of her house and stuff like that. There was no history of people dying there or old grounds and so on. But it's weird. It is Namibia and it is Windhoek, and back then it was apartheid and white people killed a lot of black people having slaves and all that. So it was actually not a good history, but it is what it is. It happened. So it could maybe be that her house was one of the grounds where it happened, where someone killed someone and something just happened. I don't know, killed a little boy. But apparently, I spoke to the guy. I spoke to the kid. I made friends with him, and she said, once I grew up and started going to school, I stopped playing with him. But she said eventually her grandkids started playing with the same children. Like she said at one point she heard her grandsons and her granddaughters, like one point she heard them just playing with people, and she asked them who they playing with, and they said the little boy, or in my language, die klein seentjie. Die seentjie, most of you guys will know what that means. I know some of my subscribers now Afrikaans, so that they'll understand what it means. But and translated, it means I saw the little boy. I'm playing with a little boy, and she said she was very unsettled by the fact that they saw exactly the same boy. Apparently, I described him as a young African American, or an infant, a black infant, and I played with him. He had a blue shirt, black pants, and small black school shoes. And her grandchildren described it as exactly the same details, the same kid and child and all that. Sorry, kid is the wrong English term. I'm so sorry. Apparently that's it's actually supposed to be, kid is actually a baby goat, but off topic. But anyways, and her children started playing with it, and eventually, when they grew up and started moving on, she said that even she's still a daycare mom and all that, and she looks after other people's families, and apparently their children, but specifically this people's sons, the young boys, they see this boy, and now in her house, he is called the little boy, and she says she usually uses him as like not a threatening tool, but she said if you don't eat your vegetables, or if you don't play, if you don't clean your mess, the little boy will not play with you today and stuff like that. So I was like a little motivated to work harder in her house to like clean their pot and all that. And anyways, yeah, and that was my first encounter, I think, for a ghost. My next encounter only happened like after a while, but I'll tell you about that right now. Okay, well, my second encounter was once we were in our old house. Our old house, we were there. I never really experienced any ghosts, but then we moved around about 2006, 2005, 2006, somewhere around about that time. We moved to a new house, just literally 2 streets away from where my old house is. And this was a little bit more unsettling because I can actually remember this. I remember all this. Long ago, we bought this house from an old lady, and she looked at the house and she sold it to us and took it over. But the day we looked at the house, not even buying it, when we just looked at it, it was slightly unsettling because when I was there, when the first time when I walked in here through the big gate, I saw, because the garden looked really differently. I'll show you one day the garden, how it looks now, but I don't have pictures anymore of how it used to look. But I'll see if I can find any and just to show you a comparison. But that's next time's story. Anyways, I went to, like, as I walked, it's difficult to explain now. I walked to the gate the first time, and this lady greeted us. But back then, our front yard garden was much different. There was a lot of bushes and trees, and it looked like a little forest. It didn't look welcoming and all that. It looked like a dark forest, a very dark forest. And I walked, and I could swear the first time I set eyes on the house, I could see someone peeping over a bush. Then I asked the lady, "Ma'am, is there anyone else living in this house with you?" And what really made me scared, which, sorry my language, but made me shit myself, was when she said, "No, it's just her and her dog." And it's true, because her sons all moved to Europe. Her husband passed away, and her daughter also passed away. So it was very unsettling when I heard that. But then later on, I just thought it was just a trick of the light, or just a trick of my imagination, just fooling around with me. So then I just stopped thinking about it, and I think about the first week after we moved in, I started hearing footsteps in our house, and I started hearing like humming and things like that. But I thought it was my mom and my sister, because my mom used to walk around with heels, so I would just imagine that's her. The humming I would picture as my sister and my mom, because they usually sing and hum when they're in the house, and so I never thought much of it. So one day I was just playing on my PlayStation 2, and I was playing a bit in my room. I was just all peaceful, because it's still the same room. I've been in the same house for so many years, but I've been playing. I played the one day, and I was home alone. Like I was sick. I missed school, and I wasn't feeling well. So I slept, and then I woke up, and then I just started playing some PS2, just having a little fun day, just getting better. And next moment, I just started hearing like little knocks, almost like little footsteps, little ones. And then I started hearing the same hum. I thought it was my mom that's back. I just didn't hear her. Then I called out, "Mom, Mom, are you there?" And not she, well, then no one replied. And I continued hearing the humming. At one point I yelled, "Oh, Mom, is that you?" Just on my language, basically. And then no response. And then I just continued hearing the humming and the footsteps, and it sounded like it was coming from our front door. So I just got angry that my mom's not responding to me. And then I walked out, went to the front door, no one there. Then I walked throughout the entire house. There was no one in our house. That's when I started getting really scared. So I grabbed my old hockey stick. I came to my room. I locked my door, and I hid in there. Okay. After that, about a week passed, and then the next time I actually heard anything or saw anything, I think I was about 11. When I was 11, my sister was about... Oh no, sorry. My sister was about 5... My sister was about, I think, 8 or 9 years old. Then that would make me about 12 or 11, somewhere there. And one day my sister said... my sister started screaming. Then I ran out of my room, and this I could stop me because this actually made me so scared, because this is also the one time I remember I wasn't just seeing anything. This was actually something that is there. And sorry, this part actually makes me so emotional. I walked out, I came to my sister, and she was standing dead still in the hallway, and she said, "Who is that?" When I turned around, in the corner of our hallway, which I can actually... I'll actually quickly take you to the area just to show you exactly how it looks. See, this is the massive hallway we have, and as you can see in this hallway right here, where I'm standing right now, I was facing my sister, looking towards you guys where you are now. That's where my sister was, and she pointed behind me, "Who's that?" And in that corner where that painting was, around that turn, we saw someone's head, a woman's head with hair draping towards the ground, and round about her head was right above where the paintings, the cat's ass would be. The hair draped right underneath where that cupboard door was. Really unsettling, but yeah. So yeah, then my sister and I saw it, and we ran to my mom into the room, and we told her what's going on. Then my sister and I started panicking, and it eventually got to us, but we were okay later on, but we were really unsettled about it. We were afraid. We didn't know what to do. We started crying. Then my mom said we were just imagining things, and being our mom, we actually believed her. So we were like, yeah, it's just our imagination. And then later on, then it was months after I ever heard footsteps and stuff like that, because it might have just been me that got used to the sounds and stuff, but my sister, for a month long, I promise you, every night she could barely sleep 3 hours. And she actually... Sorry, someone just quickly came in. Anyways, my sister couldn't sleep because she could hear this lady talking. She could hear her whispering or talking in our house. And then I got older, and I started being mischievous, and I started telling my sister, yes, if you don't sleep now, if you don't eat your vegetables, this lady will come for you at night and stuff like that. And it eventually really made my sister scared, and I mean badly scared. My sister had to go see people to like calm it down. She had to take medication and stuff, and I could see that was my fault. Then I stopped doing it because I could see it was hurting my sister emotionally, so I left it. And then eventually we had this lady that started working for us, cleaning our house, because my mom was really busy. My sister and I started school. My father was also always at work, and my mom and dad just recently came out of a divorce. So it was the house was barely looked after. Everyone was busy, and we had lady looked after us. And then at one point she started hearing people in our house, but she specifically said people, not just one. She said people. That's what made us unsettled. But she said she could actually see the lady walking in our house. She said the first time she saw her, she thought it was just a guest, so she didn't think much of it. But then one day she saw the lady walk she walked into the bathroom, and the door closed. But the lady never exited. And when she went to knock on the door, no one responded. When she opened the door, no one was there. And that's what made us scared. And then she quit, and then we got a new lady to work for us, and she hasn't seen anything so far. But I think it's just the eye of the beholder, the person who actually believes in ghosts that would see it. I could be wrong. It could just be she just didn't see it, or she just didn't care, or she just lied to us. She never saw anything, basically. And yeah, I think later on we stopped seeing her, but then I got a dog. My first dog, my first one I actually had was more into my mom. Like, it was more my mom's dog. He hated me. He hated my guts. But then I got a new dog called Bullet. He's still alive. He's about 10 years old now. But from the age, since he was a puppy until he was 2 years old, he stayed into that hallway, the same hallway where I just showed you guys, where we saw the lady. And my dog actually stood there growling and barking, sometimes just wagging his tail trying to play, but then other days he was viciously growling. What really made me scared is it could be two people, but why would a dog growl at one person and then all of a sudden just wag his tail immediately? That's why I feel like there's two people in this house. And then every time we get a new dog, from the age of a few months to a puppy or to like a 1 or 2 years old, they all did the same thing, but then when they grew up they just didn't do it anymore. So I feel like there is something still in our house, but the dogs just got used to it and didn't care anymore. And quite frankly, I don't hear anymore. I do sometimes hear the occasional bump in the night. Not bump in the night, that sounds so cliche. I eventually hear this little something in our kitchen, far away from my room, which is quite a distance, and I can hear sometimes drawers opening and closing, or I could hear knives and forks being fumbled with, or something, because I don't know. I always specifically hear noises in our kitchen and in our television room. Our television room, I sometimes hear the TV cupboard open and close, or I hear like a knock on the door at the back. But now I'm so used to it, it doesn't really bother me. But the kitchen sounds kind of bother me, because I can actually hear the physical knives and forks being cling together, even when I know I'm alone. Like today, I'm not alone, but every other afternoons I'm usually alone at home while I study, while I do my work, while I do my notes and do preparations for classes and exams. I can hear the occasional bump during the house, or the clatter, or the footsteps, or I hear something, and it's unnerving. And then, oh yeah, to add to that little ghost lady story, my friends came over once, and my one friend Jamiro will actually vouch for this, because he slept over for like a week. Back then we used to have sleepovers every day. Yes, I know, very childish, but it was a lot of fun back then. And then one night he heard humming, and he could actually remember. He told me, he asked me, are we alone? And I said yes. He said, well, I swear I just heard someone talking or humming or whispering. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably the lady in the house. And then he asked who, and I was like, yes, back then my sister and I grew up with this, almost like a ghost in the house, but this lady that was used to be in this house. And he was confused and kind of scared. And then he saw it as a way to prank me, and we just finished watching Paranormal Activity, and he started scaring me shitless every time. But yeah, and yeah, other than that, I haven't really had bad experiences. But I remember 3 years ago when I just started dating my girlfriend, my current girlfriend. I slept in their flat. It was right after her grandmother passed away, which is it is sad. I actually liked her grandmother a lot. She was a really sweet old lady. In the short time I actually knew her, but anyways, then my girlfriend told me that her previous grandmother, her father's mother, is still in that house, and it was weird, it was creepy and all that, and I didn't believe it, because I'm not really much of a believer in ghosts. But then one day my girlfriend's mom asked me to go fetch this ring that's on the table. So I walked to the table, and there's no ring, and it was just me, my girlfriend, and her mom. My girlfriend was in the room, we were watching a DVD, and her mom was in her room just saying that, and she asked if I could just quickly bring her ring to her. And I walked to the table, there's nothing on the table. And I could still remember this. That table was clear. All that was there was a tablecloth, and I felt underneath, there was nothing underneath, or I checked on the ground, there was nothing there. It was just a tablecloth with a big bowl and some wooden item stuff inside. And I checked everywhere, it was nowhere to be found. And then I was like, ma'am, I can't find it, I'm sorry. And then she walked to the kitchen, and I followed her again. And right there, the first spot where I looked, the ring was lying there, which was creepy, because there was nothing, it was not there the first time. They thought I was just lying, or I just didn't look properly, but I remember till this day it wasn't so. But then her mom actually told me it has happened in the past in the house, where her grandmother would, if they forget to do like place flowers at her grave or something like that, her grandmother would start moving things around in the house. Like move, like the little things, the rings or jewelry or little items, you would move it around. And that actually really scared me, I remember. And then the one night they told me to live in this, to stay that night in the flat. And I remember, because that is where I actually experienced something. I was sleeping in the room. And it's really creepy in there. It is dead silence. It's pitch black. It is so scary. It's like the perfect scenario for a ghost story. And I'm chilling, sitting on my phone. I'm about to fall asleep. I put my phone down to charge, and then next moment I just hear like a murmur in the back. Like it was the room. Then right through the door, there's a little kitchen. I could hear murmuring, and I could see straight through the door. When I told I could see straight through the door into the kitchen, and I could hear someone murmur, like little talking, like yeah. I can't really explain it, but and don't make fun of me. I know some of you guys are gonna start laughing at me, but anyways, and I looked, and I thought it was my girlfriend that was about to scare me or jump scare me. So I thought, you know what, let me get her back. And then I ran to the door and I switched on the light to say, and I went, whoa. The next moment there was nothing. And when I saw nothing, I ran back to the room. I closed the door, and I was 19 when this happened. I'm a big dude. I'm not really afraid of much, but that scared me. I never left the room. I could barely, even when I wanted to pee, I could not get up. I refused until I think I was up from 11 that night until 6 in the morning. I was waiting, staying under the blanket, just staring at that door if something does come out. That whole night I remember. And then I walked out and I told my girlfriend, I'm never sleeping in there again. I was done. I swear I was done after that. I hated it. I slept in her sister's old bedroom because the sister moved out and everything. And I'm just saying, it was so scary. I hated that. And since then until now, I haven't really experienced anything ghostly or scary and all that. But yeah, it was that was just my stories. I hope you guys could actually, if you guys want to, you guys can talk to me about it. And sorry that I'm staying away from this camera. I'm actually looking at some downloads that I'm trying to finish. But yeah, if you guys can, please talk to me about your ghost stories and all that. Sorry, people came in again. Like I said, if you guys can talk to me about your experiences like of ghost stories, post it at the bottom, comment, talk to me on my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, everything you can. I'll even leave my business email that you guys can email me about it, or you guys can send me videos. Like if you guys even have video evidence of it stuff, like just send it to me. Like I would love to actually hear about your ghost stories. Like I just watched what's his name, Top Fives. It's a YouTube channel which you guys should actually go check out. I still don't know how to leave a link to another channel, but I'll figure that out now. And yeah, it's just called Top Fives. He talks about the top 5 scariest moments and ghost sightings and paranormal stuff like that, and it really made me think, I actually want to talk about it. It seems really cool. So and then so if you guys have stories, talk to me about it, send it to me. If you don't want to, it's fine. And even if you want to hear more stories, I have a lot more that other people told me about their experiences. I will eventually talk to you guys about it, but I first need to get permission from them. And the next video I'll do something different again, and then I'll let you guys know how it goes. Sorry about that again, but yeah guys, I'll see you again real soon. And guys, peace out my maniacs, and until again, I love you guys and good day.